the first episode. I'm your host, Free, joined by my co-host, Dan. What's going on, Dan?
How we doing, everybody? Excited to be here, ready to help everybody secure their bag.
We are about to rob Vegas blind. I hope you are ready. Dan, how much are your picks every week?
We had to deeply discount them here. We had to, just haggle with the suppliers, bring the price down. They're free 99, folks. Free 99.
Free 99 at Bettors, Bettors Bureau. Free 99. You can't beat it. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We're here Monday and Friday every week. Let's get into it, Dan. We got a full slate of college games.
Let's get into it here. We'll start off with the early slate, the 12 p.m., 12:30 Eastern time slate here. Why don't you go ahead and lead us off with a little bit of discussion of Florida at LSU.
Yeah, starting off, we got Florida at LSU. We got 96% of the money on Florida. Very public play here. Florida at 3-3 ATS, but when they cover, it's it's negative 0.7. So they are not covering by a lot when they are covering. They are just barely covering. I'm not confident taking Florida here, and it seems like the sucker play. So I'm going to go ahead and take a pass on this one. I just think there's better games on the books.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point there. I do think it's the suckers play as well. I think both these teams have really struggled to this point. I think a lot of the public perception right now is going to be more so on LSU being the team that's struggling. So I think for that reason alone, it's the suckers play. You can even go look at the over under like we talked about earlier before the video, 59.5. It's an SEC game. It could really go either way. So I'm right there with you. This is a game I'm going to go ahead and pass on.
Yep. Jumping into the next game, though, also an SEC matchup, Dan.
Yeah, we got A&M Missouri here. This is a game that I feel pretty confident about myself taking the spread, taking A&M, giving up the points at 8.5. They're 3-3 against the spread, so you and I have talked about earlier this year. A&M's been a team that we've kind of been favoring on fading for quite some time. However, Missouri this year is they're a bad team. 0-6 against the spread, 130th run defense in the country. I mean, they're just not a good football team. I think that run defense statistic specifically is going to help A&M close the game late when they have a big lead after they blow up in the first half. So that's a game I feel pretty confident about throwing a couple few units on.
I agree. I just don't like the Mizzou defense here. I don't think that their line is where their line typically is at, pass rush or run defense-wise, and I think they're just getting thrown around in the SEC. I mean, we saw them lose an overtime game earlier in the season to BC. BC up and down this season as well. And, here we look at it, and Missouri's 0-6 ATS. Got to fade Mizzou here.
Got to fade Mizzou, you're right. Next game we got on the docket here, Michigan State and Indiana. Another really interesting game for me, having some interesting defense statistics I'd found on this one. The favored play, I think, I don't know, you took this as well, as Michigan, 4.5 to, laying the points. They're 4-1-1 against the spread. Indiana 1-4 against the spread. It kind of looks like a trap game, maybe a little bit. I think you could probably speak on that a little bit more. The one interesting thing, Michigan State's pass defense is the last in the Big Ten. So if Indiana can get their pass game going, which hasn't been a strong point of theirs this year, they're a little more balanced. They're not a pass heavy team by any means, but if they can get their pass game going, that's their one opportunity to turn this bet on its head. Then again, though, Michigan State's played pretty good football this year. I don't see any reason for them to lose.
Yeah, I agree. I like Michigan State to lay the points here. It looks like a trap just because it's 4.5. You go, why is it 4.5? Michigan State's been playing pretty good ball. They're covering the spread. Indiana's not covering the spread. They're not playing so great ball. Who knows something? What do they know, right? But at the same time, at 4.5, if I don't put a unit on it, I'm going to feel stupid. So I'm going to put 1 unit on it, just a unit. I did put 1 unit on it. I put 1 unit on the A&M Mizzou game as well.
Yeah, I think I even feel more confident in that A&M bet than I do. I think the this Michigan State one. I think the A&M one might take a couple units from me.
I agree. It's worthy of a couple units. I just bankroll spread thin this week.
You
A
know,
lot of
and
hockey, a lot of football on.
lot going on. I hear you.
A lot going on.
Diversified portfolio, as they say.
Yes, sir.
Big brain moves, big brain moves. But moving on here, Oklahoma State, Texas. I think this might be one that we may end up disagreeing on here. Texas is the favorite, -4. They are 4-2 against the spread. I know the Cowboys are your team, and I know I'm not exactly a Longhorns fan, but I'm riding the horns this week, baby. Hook 'em. Sorry.
I think that anybody who thinks that Casey Thomas, right? Casey Thompson?
Yeah, I think Case Thompson. I believe is his
Casey
name.
Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for getting his name wrong. But the Texas quarterback, I think anybody that thinks that he's going to just, pass and run all over us hasn't seen us play defense yet. I think we have the best or the second best to OU defense in the conference. I think we can hang with anybody. And, I think we're being disrespected here, number 12 in the nation. You look at Gundy or OK State under Gundy, they have a 56% cover rate, 111, 87, and 5 ATS all time. You look at them this season, though, they're 3-2, not as good. UT's 4-2. I could see how you would take Texas here. I just think that the smart money goes on Oklahoma State. I think the defense is better than Texas, and I think we can match up offensively. And I think that Gundy's coaching style lends to covering the spread. I'm going to recommend the spread play here. I personally took the money line here. I think that we have a chance to win the game outright, and we're being disrespected. But again, I understand how you have a different take on this one, Dan.
Yeah, to expand upon why I took Texas here. You look at the slate that Texas has played this year. They've got the top offense in the Big 12 right now. They've played a pretty good slate of teams thus far. Not stellar defenses by any means, but decent tests to their offense, I would say. And you look at Oklahoma State has played a little bit lighter. I think the best team they played so far is probably Baylor, I would say. And I think Texas is a lot better.
Boise State, maybe.
I don't know if Boise's better than Baylor, but
you're not watching enough Big 12. Baylor's terrible. Everybody that's high on Baylor is a stitch.
Nah, I'm not high on Baylor, but
we'll get to that later, though.
We can talk about that one at length. But yeah, I think Texas is going to be the best team they faced up against this year. I think this is where they take their loss at. I do.
Hey, we'll be in a Discord call and you'll be listening to me scream at them on Saturday. So
we'll see.
Next up, we got UCF and Cincinnati. Pretty big spread here. Last I checked, it was 21.5. I will go ahead and check again.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here, though?
I do like Cincinnati, even with this big spread. I think Cincinnati is a really good football team. I think Luke Fickell's a really good football coach. I took a game similar to this with Cincinnati earlier this season. I don't know if it was quite this big at 21.5. It does maybe even seem like a little bit of a sucker's play given that half point potentially. But UCF's not, they're down bad again. They're not a very good football team again. I just like Cincinnati to kind of beat up on their conference foe there.
Yeah, I agree with you. You look at UCF, they're 1-4 ATS. You take a look at Cincinnati, they're 4-1 ATS. Been playing some pretty aggressive football. I'm not sure, but I think the one time they didn't cover might be against. Nope, they covered against Notre Dame. I'm not sure what the game they didn't cover, but they have a pretty high-powered offense, like their QB, like their coach. I'm gonna agree with you here. I'll take Cincinnati plus the points. It is a lot of points, but UCF is not the UCF they were a couple years ago. They're playing some bad football. And
it's at home for Cincinnati. I have plenty of good things to say about the Cincinnati program right now with Luke Fickell at the helm. that
I
half
also think
point
it's worth.
could bite you, like I said, but yeah, I feel too good about Cincinnati. I think the way this will go, if they do cover, is they're not going to cover until late. They did the same thing. This is the bet I took earlier that I was talking about earlier was Indiana. I was just remembering it now. They covered that bet fairly late in the game. It was, I want to say, about 16 points or 18 points or something like that, and they ended up covering very late just because they're Cincinnati and that's their style of football.
I think something that helps to, it gives an argument towards the cover here too as well, is that Cincinnati's not in a Power 5. They know that they have to style on teams. They got to run up the score.
True. Yeah, they have to have large margins on these teams to show
Yeah.
that they deserve a spot in the playoffs. I think that's a really good point as well. We'll keep it moving here. Auburn at Arkansas. This was a game that we were kind of looking at the over/under at 53.5. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with this one?
Yeah. Arkansas 4-2 to the over. Auburn 3-3. But you go ahead and you take a look. Arkansas 32.3 points per game. Auburn gonna have 29.6 points per game. I just think that 53.5 is a little low here. I don't like taking a side. I just think that this is gonna be, a field goal touchdown game, and I'm not sure which side's getting the field goal or touchdown. I know these teams can be great or they can disappoint from week to week. So you don't know which version of Auburn and Arkansas you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I think I like the overplay. I think neither of these teams necessarily have very good defenses. I think they'll have defenses, like you said, that'll maybe force some field goals and stuff. But I don't think they're going to be stopping drives left and right. And we've seen that both the offenses are plenty competent. So for that reason, and you talk about their points per game here, I think that alone is a good enough reason to look at this game and say, yeah, I can comfortably bet the over in that one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a factor either, but you look at Arkansas last week, got into a 80-something point game with Ole Miss. I don't know if their defense has any tired legs after that one, but I wouldn't be surprised.
One would figure.
Next up, we got Nebraska at Minnesota.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and start us off with that one?
Yeah, Nebraska 5-2 ATS. They are 5-1 in their last 6 road games. Minnesota 2-2 or 2-1 ATS, excuse me, on the season. You look at Minnesota. They had a good year a couple of years ago. Not the same Minnesota. Been having a down year. It is at home, but I'm going to take Nebraska to lay the points. I just like the way Nebraska has been moving the ball on offense, and you look at them 5-2 ATS, 5-1 in their last 6 road games. I'm just going to ride with the trends here.
I'm going to go with you here on this one. I think Nebraska is a good pick. They've got the second best offense right now in the Big Ten. Their defense has been playing pretty decent. Granted, Minnesota's defense has been playing decent as well, but their offense just hasn't been there at all this year. The boat is sinking for PJ Fleck up there in Minnesota, in my opinion. I think even though it's in Minnesota, they're going to have an environment. It's a big game against a Big Ten rival. I still got to ride the Cornhuskers. I think that offense just overpowers the Gophers at home there.
Agree.
Yeah. We'll keep it moving here. Ohio at Buffalo. Buffalo, I haven't, the MAC this year, I've been paying attention to half of it. I've been not paying attention to the other half.
No, but, I'm keyed in on Buffalo, but they've already burned me. So
they have. I know. But it was that one time. The one time they lost at home, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it sure was.
And this is why I think you got to go back in. They've only lost once. They've won 11 times at home, folks. 11-1-1. They're against the spread home record in their last 13 games. 5-0 heads up against Ohio at home, and Ohio this year 2-4 against the spread. I even though you might not know anything about these football teams, I think these numbers enough speak for themselves in terms of you need to go back in on Buffalo.
Oh, I am. I'm going back in on Buffalo this week. I don't love the half point there, as CBS would call it, the hook. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I think Buffalo comes out here. They have a really good rushing attack. I think they can just control this game, especially at being at home. And you look at them; they're a good football team at home.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Jumping.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my apologies, Dan. Jumping in next, we got Tulsa at South Florida. The Suck Bowl.
Yeah, it's a Conference USA game, or actually South Florida. Are these American schools? I can't remember. That's how much these teams don't matter, but they matter for wagering. Wow, wagering, folks, wagering.
I'll remind y'all
wagering.
here: we don't gamble here because we make educated plays. We wager.
We are wagering enthusiasts
In
this house. Okay.
Enthusiast. It's a hobby.
Okay.
Continue, Dan.
I apologize. I digress. What was I even saying?
Tulsa, South Florida.
Both the teams stink. So this is a game I'm passing on. I just can't touch it.
You gonna take a pass? Well, I look at over hit in 5 of Tulsa's last 5. The total has gone over in 8 of the last 11 games for South Florida. I'm not. I don't think I'm personally gonna play it because there's so much. But if I was gonna play it, I would go with the over 55.5 here. You just look at the trends, and if I've seen the ball Cubs play, or if there's trends to support it, I can make an educated play here. I feel good with the over 55.5. Don't feel good picking a side here though.
And moving on into the afternoon slate, deeper afternoon, depending on what part of the country you might be in. But 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time slot. We did have some games, a couple of games we skipped over in the earlier slate there. We don't really have a play on Rutgers Northwestern or Duke Virginia. There's a few games earlier in this kind of mid slot here. Ball State Eastern Michigan, Akron Miami of Ohio, Troy, Texas State. We don't have a play on any of those games. We just don't know enough about either team or don't have any good statistical trends to bet on. A game we do like, however, though, in this time slot is Purdue, Iowa. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you like about this Purdue, Iowa game here, Free?
Yes, sir. Well, Iowa has been everybody's darling here on the season. It's been the public play, Iowa 5-1 ATS. Got to ride with them again, whether they are whether the public play or not. The one worrying trend is you do look at Purdue as 5-0 ATS when playing Iowa at Iowa. That worries me. But again, you look at Iowa this year, a lot stronger than the Iowa teams of the past. This is the best Iowa team we've seen in a long time. What do you think, Dan?
I agree. That was kind of my thoughts when I was looking at this game earlier. Is this might be one of the best Iowa teams we've seen in our lifetime, honestly. And for that reason, I do like that Iowa minus 11.5. Purdue is not what they used to be, unfortunately. Historically, Iowa's really dominated them, like you mentioned. And for that reason alone, they just played a tough game against Penn State. It was really close, probably a lot closer than they would have liked. They're probably going to be looking to kind of have a tune-up game. Probably going to want to try to run the score up a little bit. So I feel pretty good about that spread as well.
I agree. Another play I like in this game, I like the Iowa second half over 13.5. Kind of double dipping the chip here. You think they're going to cover the 11.5. You're basically saying, they're going to cover 2 touchdowns. I mean, you could be saying they're going to cover 13, but I'm going to go ahead and say they cover the 2 touchdowns in the second half. Iowa, a second half team. We've seen it all season. They're at home. I think they start slow, just like they always do, and then they come out in the second half and they take the game over.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I could see that not breaking down would be if Iowa got up really big in the first half. But I think Purdue will maybe make it a little bit of a football game, might put up a touchdown or 2 in the first half. And if they could do that, then I would feel pretty good about that second half bet as well.
I just think they start slow,
Yeah, they do. They certainly do.
I have a unit on both, just so everyone knows.
These, by the way, Free will let y'all know what he's riding on. We're going to be tracking his picks because his I believe it is your account specifically. Your bets that you are placing are the ones that we're going to be tracking for the show. Is that correct?
I thought we were gonna track both, but you know.
Well, I thought we were having a featured profile over here. I apologize.
You
Didn't mean
know.
to put you on the spot there. We
No,
can
I
track
thought
both.
we're a team of handicappers here, Daniel.
Oh,
you know?
we're a team. We're a team, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, but moving on. Next game here, Kentucky at Georgia. This might be another one we disagree on here. Both teams 5-1 against the spread. Kentucky's been playing good football. As we've been riding the hell out of Georgia. Georgia's covered all the damn time. I don't even remember which game it was they didn't cover.
You're talking about the one game they didn't cover is when I bet on.
Was it the one you bet on?
Yeah, Alabama and Georgia didn't cover for me on gimmies.
That's right. Ooh.
If you wonder why your SEC team didn't cover, I probably took them.
There you go, folks. There you go. There's some insight to the inner workings of the betting world there. But I kind of like Kentucky to cover here. I think Georgia is a really good team. Don't get me wrong. I think Georgia still crushes them. But I think there's a very good chance that half point could matter a lot. Georgia's offense still... I can't remember if it's Bennett or the other kid that's supposed to be in there this week. But either way, I haven't been all that impressed by Georgia's offense this year. They're not high powered by any means, and that's why I think that 21.5 against a pretty decent Kentucky team's a little bit steep.
That Georgia defense is the best defense that we've seen since the Miami heydays. And I just don't see Kentucky.
Georgia since the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I just don't see Kentucky getting in the end zone here. That's why I couldn't take Kentucky. I took Georgia to lay the 21.5. Don't love the half point there. Like you said, it is an SEC game. Kentucky is doing well, but they also haven't played anybody to the level of a Georgia yet.
Yeah, certainly.
It's personally one I'm going to lay off, but if I was going to pick it, I would pick Georgia.
Yeah, it's probably one I'll lay off as well, but I would, like I said, we're split here. I'd probably take the Wildcats. Keep it moving here.
Yeah, that's why we got two of us, right? They get to hear the different thought processes, and they get to understand.
Opinions, exactly, the different insights.
And just so everybody knows, we're both up in the book. So
we are.
Yeah, we both have our own angles that work, and
some more than others. But anyway,
Dan's still mad because we took it under in a game that went to 110 points. That's
105.
The only reason Dan's mad.
105.
That's the only reason Dan's mad. Anyway, Dan. Wait, hold on. Let me. Well, you told me to take Oregon minus 13.5, and right now Oregon is up 3 points on your alma mater.
Not an alma mater, unfortunately, but we didn't even have to talk about that. It's fine. It's fine.
Just move on. Why do you always have to say that? Like, I don't know. Doesn't that just mean you went there? You got to graduate to be alma mater? I don't know this thing.
I'm not an alumni. Anyway, we'll keep it in the family here. Pac-12, Arizona, Colorado. This is another game this is a stink bowl. If you know anything about the Pac-12, this is a freaking stink bowl. I mean, you throw this Cal team in there. Oh, yeah, it's a full-on toilet bowl. But
watch it, man. That's my future alma mater there, Colorado.
My current rival in there,
They sure can't score though. I'll tell you that much.
But yeah, this is a game that I can't touch for that reason.
Taking a pass.
They stink. They stink.
I had, I dove deep in and I found a play I like. I said Colorado been, pitching a stinker here on offense. You look at them, 4.2 points per game in the first half. I mean, that's laughable, man. They might be one of the slowest starting teams in all of college football. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Colorado first half team total under 13.5. I just don't think they get up the 2 touchdowns on the board in the first half here. I think it's a juicy play.
Oh, yeah. These are the statistics, folks. that you get for free 99. Moving on.
Free 99.
Free 99. BYU Baylor. I think I kind of like Baylor or BYU.
I was
I'm
just
sorry.
gonna say
BYU.
we're gonna be. Oh, okay. I thought we might be split on this one.
I mean, if it was at BYU, I would be even more certain of it, just because how BYU plays at home. But the Baylor team has not impressed me. I mean, you're right. We talked about it earlier. That Baylor team is not impressive. How they were in the top 25 at any point this year is kind of astounding to me.
And how people are gassing them, I just don't understand. I don't think that they have a good. Their defense is okay. It's not great. I think Gary Bohannon hasn't showed out great, and I think their play calling is atrociously bad.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The defense is it's an okay Baylor defense, really, in my opinion, and that's BYU. They've got a good offense this year. I think they reloaded a lot better than what a lot of people anticipated post Zach Wilson era. The defense.
They have another good QB again.
They do have another good QB. And the defense is lights out. BYU is always a physical team. They're going to come in and smack this Baylor team in the mouth, I think. And so I do think the 6.5. I would love it if it was a 7.5. If y'all want to tease that a point, if you can, to 7.5, I think that's a great play. You could even ride the BYU money line, and I wouldn't call you an idiot. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I think BYU wins this game. I called it right last week. Told you that Boise was going to come out there and at least cover. I didn't know that. I think BYU ended up losing that game, right? I didn't think BYU was going to end up losing, but I did think that they were a little overhyped there, a little bit overhyped. But I think here you go in, and I think Baylor's overhyped, and now there's an overreaction on BYU, and I just think here, with that line, man, I just love BYU here.
I agree. We'll keep it moving here. Miami of Florida.
And this is a game that my opinion has changed multiple times throughout the week. I'll tell you that much right now.
And goddamn North Carolina. I have trauma still from week 1. North Carolina and Virginia Tech. That memory.
Sam Howell has not been good.
No, his draft stock is plummeting. Poor guy.
Man.
I look like an idiot because I've been high on the
you were high on him and the SC guy. Oh no.
Kadon Slope. Yeah, both of them. Draft stocks are falling. Well, I did say, and I think it's been happening this year. Sam Hitch does have a little bit of a hitch in his arm action, and I think he's getting the ball out a little.
Sam Howell?
Yeah, and I think it's exaggerated a little
Sam
bit.
Sam Hitch. I just gave him a nickname.
Yeah, yep. And so, yeah, that's why. Anyway, but we're getting off the track here in terms of betting. We're talking football technicals here. I apologize, folks, but I can't touch North Carolina. I can't. Miami stinks. They're terrible. And I think 7.5 is super juicy in terms of talent when you're comparing these two programs. But North Carolina has just disappointed me for the last time. I just can't do it. It might break my heart if that doesn't hold up. But if I'm telling you, folks at home, ride the Tar Heels 7.5.
So this is first I had Miami on my sheet. Was 100% going to bet Miami at the plus 7.5. Liked the number. Did some more digging into the game, looked at the trends, also found out that Miami is making a quarterback change. Just didn't love it. Then you look at North Carolina, they're 7-1 ATS, their last 8 head-to-head at home versus Miami. And then you look at North Carolina, 5-1 ATS, last 6 head-to-head versus Miami. So they traditionally just own this Miami team. I would look for Sam Howell and Mac Brown to go ahead and make a rebound here. I'm going to take North Carolina to lay the 7.5. It's one that I have on my maybes right now. Bankroll is getting a little low on the units.
Stretched, as they would say.
If we can pull out this Ducks win, either of the Ducks right here on my right, then we'll go ahead and throw some units on that. I got some units on the BYU and the Colorado we just talked about.
There we go. We'll keep it moving here. We have got a handful more games in this mid slot here, folks. We're gonna pass on. I'll just list those off real quick. Fresno State, Wyoming, Bowling Green, Northern Illinois, UAB, Southern Miss, Western Kentucky, Old Dominion, Kent State, Western Michigan, Toledo, Central Michigan, and Rice UTSA. All of those we don't have a play on. I may have had a play for Toledo, but Toledo's been up and down this year.
I had a play for UTSA,
They
but the
haven't
value
disappointed
just
me.
wasn't
When I
there.
do bet on them, it's always been a smart bet. But when on the mix where I'm like, I should bet Toledo again, and I don't, they stink. They blow it. So maybe I just need a bet on them and it hits. Maybe it's one of those correlation things. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk quickly here about excuse me, Pittsburgh at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, the underdog.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is the underdog. Pittsburgh has been playing great football. I believe they are undefeated there, Daniel.
They are an undefeated football team. They have been playing good football. It's hard though to beat Virginia Tech at home, as we just talked about just a few minutes ago there with North Carolina. You got to ride Virginia Tech and Blacksburg. The electricity is in the air, and they've got a good football team. They do. They've got a good defense. They fly around. They cause turnovers, and their offense, they have the capability to move the football and be explosive at times. I think they've got some problems of their own taking care of the football, if I'm not wrong. But like I said, Virginia Tech in Blacksburg is a hard bet not to take as an underdog.
They play good football at home. You are right. It's a tough place to play. You look at Pittsburgh coming into, this is a better Pittsburgh team than we've seen. They're not ever bad. They're usually pretty good, but this is a real good Pittsburgh team. You know, the reason I don't love it, and the reason I thought my maybes right now, you look at Pitt 4-1 ATS, you look at Virginia 4-2 ATS. I don't love the trends there. But like you said, Virginia Tech at home. So pinning these hockey bets again, I like Virginia Tech to lay at 5. It's on my maybes. Might end up on my card before the morning. I could also be talked into the Virginia Tech money line. What do you think about that, Dan? At plus 170.
I could as well. I do think that Pittsburgh team's talented. Their style of football is tough to beat. They're going to run the football effectively. They're going to play some defense. It's been the Pittsburgh style of play for quite some time now. And when they get a team that executes really well, they're tough to beat. So that's why the money line scares me a little bit. But I could absolutely see Virginia Tech making this, a field goal football game, no problem.
Yeah, the only argument I have for the money line is just the value there with the plus 170. We just talked about how good they are at home. If I'm gonna take a underdog, I prefer to take a home dog that it's good at home. It's not a late game, but it is an evening game, so
Yeah,
should be good energy there.
all right, that carries us over into this Texas Tech Kansas game. Kansas, another team. We're done. We're break. Kansas. Look at me. We're breaking up.
No, I'm more mad at Texas Tech. Texas Tech has burned me over and over and over and over.
And that's why they make the over-under. So nobody has to be upset, right? So why don't you go ahead and talk about this over-under? I know this is one you had pinned here.
The total sitting at 69. I like it to go over. It's gone over in 6 of the last 7 at home for Kansas. You look at the head-to-head matchup between these two teams. It's gone over in 5 of the last 6. It's a Big 12 matchup. Neither of these teams likes to play defense. We got fooled early in the season. Thought Tech could play some defense. They can't. They've given up like 31 points in a quarter at one point this season. I like the over here. I think we're going to see a lot of scoring. I saw some people trying to take Kansas, the points. It's Kansas just too inconsistent for me. Tech too inconsistent for me. You don't know what you're going to get from either team, but you do know it's a Big 12 game. You're going to see some points. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, Texas Tech, another one that was a heartbreaker, courtesy of Free here, as we talked about earlier. But yeah, I mean, it's a Big 12 game. You got to take the over. It's a Big 12 game. You have to take the
Yeah, we
over.
lesson about taking a Big 12 or unders earlier in the season. I'll never take a Big 12. I don't
I've learned my
particularly love
lesson.
taking
I
overs, but I'll
truly
never
have.
take a Big 12 under ever
I
again.
truly, truly have. But yeah, Kansas has shown some ability. Their quarterback is a young, athletic kid who can use his legs really effectively. He's shown ability to throw the football, so they can play offense. We know Texas Tech can play offense, so I don't see why this can't be a like a 42-28 game, or 42-35 or 54. I could see even one of these teams dropping 50. So yeah, I think I feel plenty comfortable with that play.
I agree. Jumping into the next one here, we got Vanderbilt at South Carolina. South Carolina, last time I checked, was favored 18.5. What are you thinking here, Dan?
If this is one that I don't have much confidence in, but if I was going to take a play, it would probably be the Gamecocks on the spread here. I do think they beat Vandy by about 21 points. The South Carolina team's played a lot better football. I think I'm drawing a blank on the name of the coach. His dad was a legendary coach, Beamer. Coach Beamer, I'm drawing a blank on your first name, buddy. I apologize, but you've been doing a hell of a job there in Columbia this year, guy. They've been playing a lot better football than what a lot of people were thinking. I think they've been outplaying their talent because of good coaching. Vanderbilt is just they're Vanderbilt, man. They're Vanderbilt. So
1-5 ATS.
1-5
for Vandy.
ATS. I think this is South Carolina at home is they're a very good football team. They're hard to beat. So yeah, I think the South Carolina play. If you are going to take like I said, I don't have much confidence in this pick. This isn't one I probably won't take. But if I was going to take one, it would be South Carolina.
Yeah, there's enough. We've seen enough from the teams here. I'll take the pick of South Carolina, 18.5. But like you said, there's better bets on the card for me. Didn't even make my my first cut of my maybes. It's just sitting on the outside looking in. Not a full pass, but don't love it here with the 18.5. If it was 14, I think I'd jump all over it. Just the 18.5 here. Not a huge fan.
All right. Moving into our late slate of the college football games here, the 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern slot. We'll go ahead and kick it off with Alabama, Mississippi State. Alabama, a team that disappointed the hell out of a ton of people last week, I think, ourselves included. I do like Alabama to bounce back, even though they are very suspect against the spread. Mississippi State's not a good football team. Another play I do like in this would be the over overall. Both these teams are going to be able to score the football. This is a Mike Leach offense with some talent in it. They're going to score the football, even if it is Alabama.
I agree. Personally, I like Alabama to cover the spread. You look at them; they're only 3-3 ATS this season. But you look at them; they're 5-0 straight up in their last 5 head-to-head versus Mississippi State. And then Saban is undefeated in the regular season after a loss. He has one loss after a loss, but that is a bowl game that Alabama lost after they took an L in the last game of the season. So I like Alabama to lay the 17 points here. I have money on Alabama to lay the 17 points. I also have money on Alabama over 20.5 points in the first half. They averaged 25.6 points per game in the first half. And I really like Alabama to come out pissed off and just really put it on this Mississippi State team's head.
Yeah. I think this. Like I said, I think Alabama's just going to come out there and have their will with that Mississippi State defense. But I like the over because I do think Mississippi State will be able to score the ball a little bit. Moving on here, Colorado State at New Mexico. This is one. I mean, New Mexico's been I think a little bit more surprising of a team to people in the betting world this year. Colorado State's been a little up and down. Don't really know what to make of them personally. I don't really have a bet on either way on this one.
I originally was going to pass it, but then looking into the trends, diving into the stats, 4-1 straight up in their last 5 at home. New Mexico is, the value's there. Not sure what the line is at right now. I'll check it while I'm trying to talk. But the New Mexico, I like to back a home underdog. That's good at home. Like I said earlier, we're looking for value here if we're gonna bet a money line, and I just like the value here with them being 4-1 straight up in their last 5 at home. They protect home well, and we know Colorado State not the best on offense this year. It's a riskier play, but I like this play here.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. We'll keep it moving here. Utah State at UNLV. UNLV, an interesting team against the spread this year. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off here?
Yeah, well, against the spread, you're looking at the against the spread stats there, Daniel?
Yeah, they started the year off pretty hot against the spread, actually, and then they've kind of fallen off as of late.
Yeah, you go with the I don't have the ATS spread stats in front of me, if you'll.
Oh, wait, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong ones. UNLV is still hot, 4-1 against the spread, and Utah State is 3-2 against the spread.
Yeah, it's a 7-point game. UNLV +7. I could see taking UNLV plus the 7 here. Just personally looking at diving into the statistical trends, it stuck out to me. It's a 62.5 total set. The under has hit in 4 of the last 6 for Utah and 4 of the last 6 for Vegas here. So I do like the under as well. The under was on my card and just got off the first cut before I submitted. So might make it back on before Saturday night there, especially being a night game.
Another one sticking in the group of 5 conferences. Liberty, an independent team, but Liberty at University of Louisiana Monroe here, ULM, looks like another game that I don't know.
It's a whole bunch of points.
These group of 5 games are tough
a whole
on
bunch
me,
of
folks.
points.
If it ain't Mac or Mountain West, it's kind of
Well, Liberty has a fantastic quarterback. I've seen him a couple times this year. I think they can really move the ball on offense. I don't think their defense is bad. I think they played a really bad game against Syracuse. That's going to be their one they didn't cover. That's of course the one that I bet on. So I don't have a one in this week, so they'll absolutely cover. So y'all should take it. They're 13-1 last 14 ATS. You look at ULM, they're 6-14 ATS last 20 games at home. They don't protect the home field well. If I was going to take a play, it'd be Liberty, but I am passing on this one. We were talking about that New Mexico, by the way. It's plus 330, so
plus 330.
That's why I like the value there. Yeah, just plus 330 with a good home team.
Expected value there, folks.
Yeah, moving on to the this is a game we like. We have a system for this, Dan. You want to tell them about our system with Oklahoma? We got TCU at Oklahoma here.
We've got one rule when it comes to the Oklahoma Sooners, folks. Fade them in the first half every day of the week. We've got TCU plus 7.5 in the first half. Although I am going to say this might sound crazy. I do like OU to cover in the end. I do. Even with all the crap they got going on there, Norman, TCU is not a good football team.
They're not as good as they've been in the past.
No.
You look at the defense. Defense doesn't have the personnel they've had in the past. They like to play a lot of dime. You look at Oklahoma. They like to run the football a lot. They're going to probably run the football down their throat a lot. But, TCU is going to come out here. I like them to start fast. Oklahoma starts slow, like we said. I don't really care who's at quarterback. I think it's more than just a quarterback issue of why they start slow. I think everybody comes out sluggish and starts slow. It's a night game in Norman, like you said. I think they close out the game in the end. Maybe they end up making a quarterback change like they did last week at half. But we've won so much money this season already. I got to stick and ride with the system of fading Oklahoma in the first half. So I'll take TCU plus 7.5 in the first half.
Fade the Sooners, folks. Fade the Sooners.
This next game is crazy. I don't know if I put this on and off my card and on and off my card and on and off my card, and I tried to look at the stats of how many points we got. Ole Miss at Tennessee. It's set at 84. Just trying to look at how many points actually went over 84 in the last.
It has actually come down just a little bit. 82.5 is what we are looking at now.
82.5.
82.5. Still crazy.
Still crazy
numbers,
high.
Bro. Still crazy.
It still only hit, I believe. I was trying to look it up. I didn't get a great source on this, but I believe it said it hit 0.02% of the time above that 64. So, that 64 apparently really the magic number there in the college football, all the way up to 82. You do look at, there's been some SEC historical games that have gone that high. I believe there was a LSU A&M game, but you dive deeper, it was 31-31 at the end of regulation. They played 7 overtimes, which also can't even happen anymore with the new rules. So I just like the under here. I think it's too many points.
Yeah, I'm with you. Neither of the defenses are spectacular. I think Ole Miss's is pretty bad right now. Unfortunately, they're giving up about 31 points a game. It is, I believe. Tennessee's isn't terrible though. They've played some decent teams. They played Pittsburgh pretty close earlier this year and were able to keep their points down for the most part. I think it started breaking open a little bit towards the end of the game, but yeah, I think 82 and a half, 84 points, wherever you get it at. If it's in the 80s there, I think that's nuts. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I don't, I'm going to cut my card yet because it's a late game. Like I said, bankroll tied up, but it's going to make it on my card by the end of the day. Just total swag for me.
Yeah.
Jumping into that next one, we got another Big 12 matchup here. I'm the Big 12 expert. We got Iowa State at Kansas State. What's your play here, Dan? You got one?
Iowa State, Kansas State. I actually like Kansas State here. I do. I'm going to take them on the points. Iowa State on the road is not historically great. Kansas State has shown to be able to play some good football at points this year. We saw them play really strongly against Stanford, who's played decent. They beat Oregon, and it's not a complete slouch of a team like what I think a lot of people thought at the beginning of the season. And Kansas State beat them handily. So I certainly see this as a Kansas State +7. You could even go crazy. I might not even call you crazy if you went money line.
Yeah, I'm seeing 6.5 some places, 7 at DraftKings. That's our out of choice usually. Yeah, I mean, I like them plus the 7. My pick here, though, I'm gonna go with the under. The total set at 51. That is pretty low, especially for a Big 12 game. We joked about we never take an under in a Big 12 game, but these are the two Big 12 teams that really don't play that style of football. They don't really play that air raid, fast-paced style. They're both gonna run the football a little bit. And the under is hit in 16 of Iowa State's last 22 on the road. So, it's a pretty good percentage there. Iowa State doesn't do too well on the road. Kansas State, not the easiest place to play. Night game.
Yeah.
I mean, so I could definitely see Kansas State on the money liner +7, like you said as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go safe play, I'd say take the points. If you want to live a little more dangerously, go ahead and take that money line and thank me later.
I kind of like how I said with the Oklahoma State. It's a preference there. You can play it safe, and then you gotta pick a better percentage. You gotta handicap a little bit better. But if you go for long shots and you don't get them, doesn't feel good either. So
yeah.
But definitely fun to back a money line team. And again, like we said, another team that's good at home. If we're gonna back a dog, I like the dog at home.
That I do as well. that. I do as well. We've backed BC before, correct?
We have,
And it
yeah,
paid off handsomely, I believe.
yeah, getting into North Carolina State, BC.
So getting into North Carolina State, BC, you said the home underdog, and my brain just it went there. BC, NC State, folks. We've got BC 4-1 against the spread, 6-1 in their last 7 games at home, 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games. BC, it's another BC football team that likes to run the football, control the clock, game manage. NC State's going to want to try to push the ball a little bit more. They're an ACC football team. They want to, get that ball moving through the air some. They're going to want to pick up the pace just a little bit. They do have a little more of those Big 12 tendencies to them a little bit now in terms of how they like to air it out. They don't really quite hurry it up. I think they still kind of run it at a pro style tempo, but definitely like to air that ball out some. So I think BC is going to try to take this game over and control the clock. I think at +3 you may as well just take the money line though.
I feel you. The money line, not a ton of juice there, but it is good at +130 at Draftkings, seeing up to +135 in some spots. So I do like that. I like the money line play there. I like BC. I personally, I went safe. Maybe it was the wrong play here, but I went ahead and I put +3 on my card. Bit of a late night decision there. Maybe I would have gone the money line if I would have listened to Dan there. Maybe I'm gonna wish I listened to Dan. Probably gonna wish I listened to Dan. Not gonna lie.
All right. We'll keep it moving. That one's a short and sweet one. We got some good stats on that one, I felt like. Stanford at Washington State. Now, this one, I'm riding Stanford on. I am. I don't think Washington State's had a good test yet. I think Stanford will end up being one of the better teams they've played, even though Stanford's pretty much at the bottom of that conference, really. But yeah, while I think Stanford is going to be a little bit frustrated from their game they just played against ASU, they didn't necessarily play terrible football, didn't play great football, had some bad breaks, and I think they're going to play, kind of a revenge game style of football there.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure. I just went with the under here. The styles that these two teams play. Add that into the under has hit in 5 of the last 6 for Washington State. Stanford 2-4 to the over this season. So I went the under 52.5 here. Not a ton of points. Don't feel great about the point total, but like I said, they both like to run the football. It's a night game. Washington State, not the easiest place to play, correct?
The Palouse, yeah, they can get a crowd. They can get pretty crazy up there.
Jumping into the next night game there, we got West Point, Army West Point at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Wisconsin, the 14-point favorite.
If Army was ranked, I would hammer the shit out of Army, no matter how bad they were. But, but you got to take Wisconsin here. Similar styles of football. They're going to try to run the football. Obviously, Wisconsin's going to try to air it out with Mertz a little bit more. But Army loves their triple option, loves to run that football.
I think Mertz is out.
Is Mertz out? This is news to me.
I think they said last week they subbed them out, right?
I don't remember.
I think they brought in the other guy. I'm not 100% positive on that. Keep talking
either
about it.
Way,
figure it out.
Either way, it's the Wisconsin.
It doesn't matter.
Defense,
the other guy's better. I think if they play the other guy besides Mertz, I think they cover even easier.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is just this just seems like the type of game that Wisconsin should crush in. Honestly, their defense is physical. They'll be able to stand up to Army because that's what Army tries to do. Army plays a lot of group of 5 schools where they're just going to try to out physical you and be tougher than you, which against group of 5 schools where the athleticism gap isn't quite the same works okay. But when you're playing against group of 5 schools, especially against a decently talented Wisconsin squad, especially Wisconsin likes to play that similar style of football where they're going to come hit you in the mouth. I think Wisconsin wins that battle outright.
Yeah, I agree. I got Wisconsin. I got a bet in here on Wisconsin to lay the 14 points. They're 15-7 straight up, last 22 at home. Madison, a tough place to play, especially at night. It's going to be chilly, but it won't matter. They are going to turn out and they will be drunk. I lived there, and I can tell you, I have bartended after the games. They're going to have themselves a good time, Danny, especially in a game that's been a tough year. This perceived as an easy game for them. I think their team comes out here and they roll over them.
Mm.
This next one is an interesting one. We've gone back and forth on this all week. We got UCLA at Washington. Tough place to play from what I hear.
It is. The only difficult thing is it's more difficult when the Washington team's actually good, which Washington this year stinks. Thanks.
I'm sorry if anybody from Washington's watching.
They stink. But they've made some changes in scheme on the offense. We've seen them in a lot more I formation. They've just done a lot of weird stuff in Washington that doesn't really seem to have meshed with what was left to them there. UCLA has been a team that has really surprised this year. Obviously, they beat an LSU team, a ranked LSU team that was kind of down. But I think UCLA, they've got an athletic quarterback. Chip Kelly's, he's still a good coach. I just don't see why Washington would be favored in this game. I truly don't.
I agree. You look at UCLA, 4-1, last 5 on the road. ATS, 4-2 this season. Washington, 1-4 ATS. I believe the money lines were, you said favored, but I think in the spread, right? But in the money line, aren't they about even there? And I think that's why I had the points there, because it was better odds. If not, I would pick whatever's the better odds between the points, the points on UCLA and the money line on UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA is plus 100 on the money line. Washington's minus 120.
And what is the spread? It's minus 110.
Yeah, odds are minus 110 each.
Yeah, so I would go ahead and I would take the money line there. I wrote down the wrong thing. I would go ahead and grab the money line there for UCLA.
Yeah, I think that's All right, we'll keep it moving here. Air Force, Boise State. Boise State with a pretty loud win last week. You kind of had an I told you so.
The defense, I did. And the defense is not where the defense is normally at for this Boise State team. But you look at their quarterback, he is amazing. As long as they can protect him, he's fantastic. A veteran, been there for a couple years. Real talented guy, though. You look at Boise, they're only... Cat's trying to eat my laptop. You look at Boise, they're only favored by 4 points here. I really like the number. I think it's a touchdown at least all day, if not 2. It's also at Boise State. Really tough place to play. You look at this Air Force team. They're better, trying to run some passing concepts and do some different things. But I don't think they're where they're ultimately trying to go yet. And I think Boise takes it here. They're 4-2 ATS.
Yeah,
4-1 straight up last 5.
Boise's performance last week said it enough for me. I mean, that Boise was a team that I had a lot of question marks about this year. They've seen them up and down a lot. I think what we saw last week against BYU answered a lot of questions. I think -4 is a pretty generous line in favor of Boise. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Boise.
I agree. Next, we skipped this Louisiana Tech UTEP game. That's a real stinker bowl, and we just didn't know where to go in that one.
Yeah. Which will take us in to our late slate, our Pac-12.
12 After Dark.
little
you just ASMR.
ASMR. Hey.
Yeah.
It's a combo show.
Now we can tag it ASMR. That was brilliant.
Big brain.
That was brilliant.
Big brain.
Big brain.
But
big brain.
This is My ASU Sun Devils. Let's go, baby. Forks up. I do like ASU this week. Utah has actually bounced back a lot better from losing their starting quarterback than I expected them to, but it's still their defense isn't the same. The offense is still a little bit. I almost want to say handicapped by some scheme. I don't think they're quite running their full playbook just yet. ASU, I think, is starting to hit their stride a little bit. Defense is the top in the Pac-12. I believe the offense is in the Pac-12 is top 3. I think ASU is a plenty talented team. I think they're starting to get rid of their discipline issues. I think this should be a comfortable win for them in Utah, given Utah is a very tough place to play, especially at night. That place gets very loud, very, very rowdy, believe it or not. But I still think the talent from that ASU team is just much too much.
I agree. I wrote down the wrong thing here, just switching that around. But I would take the ASU money line here. You look at ASU; they're having a pretty good season here. Not the season they hoped for. Not the necessarily the quarterback play they hoped for. But they're still getting it done. So on the road at Utah, like you said, Utah been playing pretty good ball, but I think ASU gets it done here. Better odds on the money than that 1.5 there. So go ahead and take the money line.
Go ahead and take that money line. You got the better odds. I did speak incorrectly, by the way. ASU is plus 1.5, not -1.
Yeah, right. So that's why I looked at those odds at -120 for the spread there.
I've seen that. Yeah, that's
plus.
Plus no gracias. We take ASU money line with those kinds of odds when I'm feeling this confident about ASU winning that football game. Last game in our college slate: Hawaii, Nevada. We got Nevada favored at -14. Hawaii plus 14. We are in Reno for this game at 7:30. What do you like here?
If I was gonna pick a play, I would take Nevada to lay the points. Hawaii is just not good. Not a good football team this year. They don't have the people they used to have, and they definitely need to get the recruiting done. You also look at them. I realize it's a late game, but still flying all the way from Hawaii to Reno, probably not the most pleasant thing. Reno, probably not the most pleasant place to hold up in the hotel and wait for your 8:30 game. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Nevada to lay the 16 points here at home.
Yeah,
the 14 points here at home.
I'm with you on that one. UNR's got a great offense, one of the better offenses in the Mountain West this year. Hawaii's defense is struggling. They've got travel, which obviously isn't something they're not used to, but I still do think that takes a little bit of a toll on the players. I just don't see any reason why Nevada wouldn't be able to cover with this. Even Hawaii's offense, we've got them 5th in the Mountain West, so not great, not terrible. But UNR, I think, has played some, tougher non-conference games, and so I think those stats that we're seeing from them matter a little bit more.
I agree. Did you have any parlays in the college arena for us this weekend?
Not this weekend, no. Just because there wasn't any. Usually, when I go parlays, folks, on the college football at least, we've got 4 games that we feel super crazy confident about. And that's why I'll parlay them. I don't have that this week. I've got a few of them that I do like. But I'm just not going to increase my variance and parlay. I'm just going to play some straight bets, and we'll see what plays out.
Yeah, I agree. If I was going to go for a parlay here, I might go with the OK State and the ASU money lines, parlay them up, or maybe that New Mexico State and the ASU that we talked about. Whatever I liked better out of those two. But again, you are increasing your variance there, and the parlay they get you for the extra vig. So I'm not in love with any parlays in college football this week. We definitely got some stuff for you in the NFL if you like that, but in college, I'm sticking to straight bets this week. I agree. What's going on, everybody? We are back. We are jumping into some NFL action this weekend. we have the real Stinker Bowl going on in London for our friends across the pond. Dan, what do you think about the Dolphins at the Jags going on at 9:30 Eastern time? I know that's a great game for us. We love that time of game.
Well, everybody knows how the Jacksonville Jaguars do in London. But this ain't them Jaguars, folks. Go ahead and hammer them Dolphins -3. I don't care who's at quarterback. Them Dolphins stink.
Yeah, the other thing at play here, Tua is
Dolphins.
going to play in this one. The Jaguars also didn't travel till Thursday, means they don't get there until Friday night. They have to stay up, then play on Saturday. Really a horrible schedule, I heard. I forget who was going off about it. Brady Quinn or somebody.
They play on Sunday, my friend.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Whatever. He was saying they got to stay up because of the time they get there. They must get there Saturday morning then.
That might be it, yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I've never gotten the chance to go across the pond, Daniel. Okay. But I'm taking the Fins -3. I know that, Dan. I don't know how long it takes to fly across the pond from the US of A to the UK. Okay, I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm riding with the Fins -3 here, Dan. What do you think about that, Dan?
I love it. I love the play. I think people are getting caught up in this Jaguars doing really well in London thing a little too much because that was the Jaguars of like a while back.
I mean, if you want to look at that, Miami owns Jacksonville.
Like
4-1 ATS
Jaguars
last 5
folks.
on the road versus Jacksonville. And that's on the road, not at Jacksonville. So you want to look at that, I can find a trend of buck back. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take the Fins -3. I'm riding with Tua. I don't think he's as bad as everybody thinks. I think the Dolphins are bad. I think the offensive line is terrible. I think the play calling is terrible. But I think the Jaguars, I think Urban Meyer is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. We'll go ahead and keep it moving here, folks. 1 o'clock time slot. We'll go ahead and kick it off with the Texans Colts. Your Texans. I actually do like the Texans +10 on this. I think the Texans have played good football. Davis Mills is shown to be capable of running an offense. Your quarterback, yeah. I mean,
my QB, baby.
Poor Ty. There's got to be some sort of curse around Tyrod. That poor guy. He just comes in as a veteran.
Man, I like Tyrod. So
he's like the fairy godmother of rookie quarterbacks. He just puts some bippy bop. Shouldn't have cussed.
He's so good though.
He put some bippity boppity boo crap on the on whatever quarterback sitting in that room with him, and yeah, he's good.
I mean, maybe there's something to that though. He's a very accurate quarterback. You look at Tyrod over his career. I mean, I personally don't know, and I haven't heard, but maybe he's good at breaking down the film, and he goes ahead and just a theory here. He goes ahead and is able to show rookie quarterbacks a little bit more of the coverage disguises and the things that NFL defenses are going to try to do to really throw you off. I know rookies have a lot of trouble sometimes when post-snap doesn't match the pre-snap.
Yeah, when reads start to break down, they do have a hard time adjusting. The Colts do have a good defense, and for that reason, I could see this not holding up. But just the way that the Texans have been playing, the Colts have really struggled. They haven't really played that many incredible teams per se. They just lost the Ravens on Monday night. The Ravens are a hobbled team, just manages to keep on winning somehow. Their one win is against the
they got you and me at
Dolphins. DB. I mean, they truly do. They truly do. So I mean, as good as that front seven is, if they can get after Davis and get him to make some mistakes, then that game could get ugly potentially. But even then, you flip it on the offensive side of the ball. Where's all their offensive firepower at? It's out of the backfield, so there's control in the clock. It makes it harder to attain those larger spreads when you have that kind of formula in the football game.
I think also you look at the Texans. We even with Davis have tended to air the football out. We like to get the ball to Brandon Cooks. We like to get the ball to our running backs too, but we definitely like to get the ball to Brandon Cooks. And I looked for Brandon Cooks to have a big game. I don't know what the reception total is, or the yards is here. Might look at that as well, but I definitely like the Texans +10. I just think the spread is too high here. I think it's an overreaction.
Yeah.
And you look at Houston 3-2 on the spread. I think been a couple times here where the books have overreacted and maybe judged the Texans a little bit too harshly here. I
Pressing
think maybe
on
a
here.
7-point spread might be a little bit more fair there.
A little bit. Pressing on here, we'll go ahead and talk about the team we just talked about, the Ravens and the Chargers. This line's is criminal to me, in my opinion. I think the Chargers are going to steamroll the Ravens. I truly do. Hammer the hell out the money line on the Chargers, folks. I sincerely mean that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I have, it is an NFL game. I think the 2.5 is valid to take a look at here, though, Dan, as opposed to college. If it was college, I wouldn't even take a look at it here. And the 2.5 is valid to take a look at. If you want to play it safe, you can go for that. But I do like the value, the EV, like you said, on the money line. So might take a play with the money line there. Chargers 8-1 ATS last 9 though. So. But like you said, if they cover the 2.5 there,
keeping it moving,
winning pretty good.
Keeping it moving. We got the Packers Bears up next. This one, another one that kind of the line surprised me just a little bit.
Yeah, what do they know?
What do they know? What is Justin Fields putting in his Wheaties this week? Huh?
Yeah, because you look at Green Bay, 9-1 straight up last 10 versus the Bears. 10-1 last 11 at Chicago.
Yeah, 4-1 against the spread on the season. I mean, they've got all these statistics going in their favor. On paper, they're the much more talented team. I don't see why they don't win by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, well, the reason I pulled those straight up and last 11 at Chicago stats and brought those up too is because you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's traditionally owned this Bears team no matter who's playing on it. And even when they've had Khalil Mack in this defensive front, he's still traditionally just giving them the business. I think you see it here again. I don't think Green Bay is getting the respect they deserve.
Yep.
Jair is out. That might be a reason for the line to be a little. But we saw last week, kid from Georgia stepped up pretty good in his absence.
He did, yeah. That kid's fast too, very fast. All right, next one we got on the docket here: Bengals Lions. This one's interesting to me. I do think this could be the game that Detroit brings it home. I do. The Cincy defense is nothing crazy. I think everybody healthy on Detroit. I don't know if DeAndre's health is still in question or not, but I think if he plays this Sunday, this could be it for Detroit. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The confidence there is about a 40-60, but that's probably about as confident as I'm gonna get with the Lions, trying to pick the Lions to win a game. Okay, all right.
Jamar Chase. Those are 2 words I have for you. Jamar Chase. You look at Jamar Chase, he's, averaged more than a touchdown a game. He is killing it. Joe Burrow and him just have the chemistry. You look at the line for the Bengals, not great. But then again, you go ahead, you look at the line for the Lions, not great. Even, Sewell hasn't been playing the best there. So I think that, I got the Bengals minus 3.5. You gave me a look there when I said that about Sewell.
He
was setting too far back last week. That's the analyst I was watching saying he's setting too far back, messing himself up.
That's an easy fix.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying a guy setting too far back needs to fix it.
Bosa. All right, that's just, you do that as a rookie. You're onto something, but we'll keep it rolling here. Rams Giants. This one interesting for a lot of folks, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of sharp money coming in on the Giants. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get there, but you go ahead. You go ahead and you look, and the Giants 9-1 ATS last 10 head-to-head between these teams. Only 2-3 ATS on the season, though. I just don't feel confident because I want to take the Rams. My heart tells me to take the Rams. The statistics tell me to take the Giants. You look at the Giants, they have you and me playing for them. I know what you're going to say. I just couldn't go with it. So I went the over 48.5. Total gone over in 6 of the Rams' last 7 and in 4 of the last 5 when the Rams are at the Giants. So I like that over 48.5 there.
Yeah, I think with that game, it's this is one that I probably wouldn't touch personally. The line's weird. The over-under's a little weird in my opinion. If I was going to choose something, it would probably end up being the Rams -9. I correct me if I'm wrong. Saquon's out this weekend. D. Jones is out this weekend. Daniel Jones.
Yes, I believe both.
I
believe Daniel's questionable.
Questionable with the
out.
concussion,
Saquon
but
is
he's
out.
probably out.
And Tooney is questionable, but I think he plays.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of missing pieces for New York. The line obviously reflects that, but I think LA bounces back from the last couple of tougher kind of down weeks. Obviously, the losses have been down weeks, but or the loss I should say was a down week, but yeah, I just don't see any reason why LA shouldn't dominate this game. I think Matthew Stafford comes out and balls. The New York defense is nothing to write home about at all. I think he tears them apart, and New York's not going to have any sort of answer. They got, I believe, Mike Glennon back there if Daniel Jones doesn't play.
Yeah, well, that's not great news. Just like on my right here, not great news. The Ducks sold me in overtime to the freaking Wild. Bunch of stooges, criminals, and frauds.
I'm so glad y'all can be here to experience this.
Bunch of stooges, criminals, and frauds. I've been sold in overtime hockey twice recently. Season just started twice in overtime. Anyway, we're not talking about hockey yet. What were we talking about? We're talking about this Chiefs-Washington game?
I believe that's what we do have up next here, yeah.
All right. Kansas City, absolutely just terrible at covering the spread. You look at them, but then you look at Washington, 1-4 ATS. Kansas City, 1-4 ATS on the season. Both terrible at covering the spread. But you look at Kansas City in the head-to-head matchup, they're 5-0 against the spread in the head-to-head. Andy Reid traditionally owns this head-to-head. Now, it is Ron Rivera now, different head coach, but the defense not been what we expected. Heineke not been what we expected. The Chiefs defense can kind of make anybody look good, but I still have the Chiefs to lay the 6.5 here. I think they won by the touchdown.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I mean, the Chiefs' big weakness right now is their defense. That's why they have been struggling in football games. Let's be honest here. Washington's offense is who knows what's going on with Washington's offense? Like, actually, it's outside of hitting the ball off to Antonio Gibson and trying to throw one up to Terry. What else are we doing? What else? Because I don't know. They just don't. Heineke is super athletic, could make plays, but his decision making isn't great. For that reason, I just don't see Washington punishing that weak Kansas City defense. I think Kansas City comes out. They're too as good as that Washington front seven is. They're still going to be overpowered. It doesn't matter that their secondary is so bad. It doesn't matter if they can get there or not. The secondary can't even give them the coverage to even stop the quarterback from throwing the football is what I'm trying to say. But
yeah, Mahomes
is pretty good at the football. So
and I think he didn't like maybe what everybody was saying after last week. Maybe all the talking heads and Twitters. So, Twitter thumbs.
Not particularly, but
I would look for Patty to have a big game here. I also don't know what the passing yards is, but I'd take a look at that. If it was around maybe 250 over, I think I would take that easy.
I will double check for you here. We got it at 310.
That's a little high juice for me. What's the juice on it though?
Minus 115 on either side.
That's a little high for me there, Chet. I might put that in the same game parlay. I might throw that in a same game parlay there, get that down a little bit, but like I said, get around at 250 mark. Maybe Tyreek to get over 70, 80 yards there. Just spitballing here, and
Yeah, you're gonna have
KC
to.
minus the 6.5.
Yeah, that might be one you could consider in some same game parlays as well. I think Kansas City will be on the revenge tour for this game. Uh, keep it moving into our last game we've got in the 1 p.m. window here. Vikings at the Panthers. This one, an interesting football game. Both these teams have been playing pretty good football up to this point this week. Vikings should have Dalvin coming back, I do believe. So against what we think is a good Panthers defense. Obviously, they got shredded by the Cowboys a little bit, but yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on this game?
You go back and you look at why they got shredded by the Cowboys. They tried to play a lot of nickel and even in some situations dime versus Ezekiel Elliott. Their run fits were terrible. It really just bad coaching.
They changed up the sets they were coming out in.
They had one of the best run defenses of all time.
They took away their slant nose tackle. They took away a lot of things that were making their defense really good. It was a bad coaching decision is what happened.
Yeah, I think you see them go back to what they do well here.
What they do well, yeah. Which if they do, I sincerely think the Panthers can win this football game. They shut down the Dalvin passing attack. Especially is Gilmore. I think Gilmore should be available this weekend, right?
Should be.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Gilmore on. Yeah. That should help them slow down that passing attack a little bit. If they can take care of the football, I think the Panthers can win this football game. I'm not going to say that with a ton of confidence, which is why we go and we look at the over-unders. What do you got, Free?
Yeah, I got the under 45.5 here. It is a little low, but the unders hit in 7 of the last 8 for Carolina. English is hard. Meanwhile, the total gone over in 4 of the last 5 head-to-head. You don't like that, but obviously you look at these teams. They've gone through a lot of changes. The Panthers don't have the same people. I think they play a little bit slower here, and the Vikings are going to look to run the football. That's what they do. They're going to have a hard time here. Like I said, I think the Panthers go back to the run defense that they started the season with. Not trying to play in these smaller packages.
Yep, I agree, and I think if that, like I said, I think if that is something they do, they'll be effective in slowing down Dalvin. They'll just have to figure out how to stop Jefferson and Thielen. We'll keep it moving here. We'll go into our 4 p.m. slot here. It looks like we've got 3 games we'll be looking at. We'll go ahead and kick it off with the Cardinals and Browns. This is going to be a phenomenal game. What are your opinions?
Well, we have some big news since the writing of our, since I bet this game, and since everything. And now their news came out. Cliff is going to miss the game. The QB coach is going to miss the game. I believe one of the coordinators is going to miss the game, all with COVID or on the COVID list, with contacts to COVID. So that's not good. Lane doesn't call the, what's his name? Not Lane.
Cliff
doesn't call it. Thank you. Cliff doesn't, vitamin brain. Cliff doesn't call the plays over there. But, I think he definitely big presence on the sideline. Big energy guy, too. I think he gets the players, going. So I think that's definitely scaring me a little bit.
I'm going to go ahead and social distance from this game. This game's got the COVID-19 all over it. We're going to go ahead and social distance from it. I don't know what to
that's not a bad idea. I took it in some teasers, and I had already laid them down before the news came out, and I can't get out of them. But as far as a straight bet, you're right. I think I'm going to go ahead and pass on this one because of the COVID-19.
The COVID-19. Moving on to this next game here. This one, a lot more interesting to me than the COVID-19 bowl there. Sorry. Cowboys Pats. The Cowboys only at -3.5. What does Vegas know that we don't? Because I think Dallas is a dang good football team this year.
You look at Belichick; he's just absolutely owned the Patriots. Just giving them the business. 5-0. Yep, the Patriots have absolutely owned the Cowboys. My apologies. Belichick. 5-0 last 5 head-to-head versus Dallas there. As a coaching change and Mike McCarthy, but that doesn't make it any better for me. But then again, you look at the team and Dallas just been playing great football. So as much as I feel like it's a trap, I got to take Dallas minus 3.5.
Yeah, I think the one thing to keep an eye on for that game will be the health of Trayvon Diggs. Even then, though, that Dallas offense, man, they're talented. They really are. Between CeeDee Lamb, Amari, the receiver core is phenomenal. Zeke and Pollard have made a phenomenal backfield combo in my opinion, and Dak has picked up where he was last year pre-injury. He's just slinging the ball all over the yard. So he looks better. I agree. And so yeah, this would be a game that this would be a no-brainer for me, in my opinion, is this Cowboys minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, the half point, but like I said, I feel like they're going to win by a touchdown pretty easily here. So.
I think if not more.
Yeah.
But
then you got an interesting matchup here. You got the Raiders, coached by Biscaccia. Sorry if I mispronounced that. The special teams coordinator at the Broncos. He's filling in as the interim. What do you think here, Dan? I don't love the Raiders with the fill-in coach here.
Yeah, Raiders with the fill-in coach. A lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes. Denver is going to be looking to bounce back. They want to try to get a better position in the AFC West, especially with Kansas City being down. The Chargers playing the way they are. They know they're going to have to try to be competitive with them. So I see the Broncos seizing the opportunity of an organization in turmoil here. I think they crush the Raiders. I do.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that defense, especially that secondary, comes out. The top end of that secondaries might be they might have some of the best safeties in football right now. I think they come out and they put a stranglehold on Las Vegas here.
Yeah, I agree. You look at all the factors here. Raiders, interim head coach. You got Raiders coming at altitude. You got to be in a night game. It's starting to get a little chilly here. You got players coming in. I used to the cold. I've been in Vegas. It's just too many things here. You stack them all up, and I like the Broncos -4 here. I think that's juicy. I think, like you said, I think they might beat them by 14, but I think they easily beat them by 7 here.
We'll go ahead and move into our prime time game here. We got the Seahawks and the struggling Steelers. What do you like here? I mean, this should be a game. No Russell Wilson. You got Geno Smith back
Wilson,
there.
No Carson.
But man, the Steelers have been bad this year. I mean,
no
what's
Wilson,
the play?
No Carson.
No Wilson, no Carson. Even
no Wilson, no Carson. Both. Yes.
So we're taking the Steelers.
Steelers -5.5. I don't love the Steelers.
65.
Yeah, I don't love the Steelers,
folks.
but you can't. I mean, Geno Smith looked good last week, but also Geno Smith looked good when absolutely nobody on the planet Earth was preparing for Geno Smith to come in a football game. You got a full week of preparation watching Geno Smith film. There's plenty of film on him. He's played plenty of NFL games. He started for over a season. You know what I mean? It's not going to be hard to go break down his film and see what his tendencies are here. And, I think with a full week of preparation, I think the Steelers D is going to carry them to a win here. I think Big Ben hasn't been playing great, but I think they ride Najee Harris and a tough defense to a win here. We have the Steelers -5.5.
All right. And that's going to wrap up our straight portions.
Oh, my bad, Dan. I also had the under 42.5 in this game. Total gone under in 4 of the last 5 for the Steelers. Total gone under in 6 of the last 7 of Seattle road games. And like I said, we got a backup quarterback. Apologize for that mispick, but just wanted to give you all that as well. Did like that.
Not a problem. That'll go ahead and carry us into our teasers and parlays section here. I'll go ahead and kick us off with our teasers. This is going to be my teaser of the week here. It's a 4-pick parlay. We're doing a 6-point teaser, and here's what we've got here. We've got the Rams at -3 coming down from -9. We got the Chiefs at minus a half a point, pretty much the pick 'em at that point. Coming down from -6.5. We've got the Packers +6.5 coming down from -5.5. And we've got the Chargers only got to cover 8.5 points against the Ravens. That sounds like a no-brainer to me right there, folks. This one sounds like it should hit, no problem, no questions asked. You can come thank me later.
I like that one. I got actually a similar one here, Dahn. I got a 6-point teaser. I got the Chargers, tease that to 8.5. You're gonna tease the Raiders to 10, tease the Packers to even, so basically pick them at that point. Tease the Raiders to -3, and then the Chiefs that minus the half a point that you had. I got that in my card. That's a +400 right there. Really like that one. I also have a 6.5 point there. The Bengals +3. That's why I took the extra half point. A little worse odds, but I wanted to get to that 3 instead of the 2.5. Get the Bengals +3. Packers plus a half point. I really do like the Packers this week. We talked about that. Got the Vikings +4. The Cowboys +3, and the Fins +3.5. That one's going to be +350.
That's not a bad
Any parlays for us, Dan?
I no parlays this week. If I was to parlay anything, I might take that teaser I just told y'all. You could turn that into a parlay very, very easily, in my opinion.
I feel you. I do have one parlay for y'all. When I took it, it was at 1027. I think now it's down to like 800 and something, but still good value there. You take the Texans money line, the Chargers money line, you parlay them up. I think the Chargers are an easy win. I think the Texans have a shot in this game. And I like we said, sometimes you got to swing big. So I like a big swing there. Big money on that one if it goes ahead and hits. Get any SGPs for us, Dan, or?
That my friend is your specialty. I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over for this one here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we specialize in the same game parlay. We are fantastic at it. Dan can tell you we both, I don't know why he's being modest. He helps out too. We have a high win percentage with the same game parlay. Stick with us on the same game parlay and you will win some money, my friend. So I got 2 for you this week. I mentioned one earlier in the show if you were paying attention. If you were, let me know down in the comments what that one was. I got the Packers and the Bears here. I like the Packers -6.5. I like Rodgers over 254.4 passing. I like big old Bob Tonyan over 4.5 receiving yards. And I like good old Devontae Adams to go for over 84.5 here. You put those all together. I did not write down what that was running, but it's around +5, 600, I believe, somewhere in that range. Nice little same game there. I like that one. Moving on to the second one, I got the Chargers and the Ravens. We already talked about how we thought this Chargers team was going to come out hot. I like the Chargers to get a sack. You look at the Ravens offensive line not doing too well. We cashed on that last week, Dan, actually. Thank you, Rodrigo Blankenship. You are a god.
What a guy.
So, what a guy. So, Chargers, one team sack. I got the Chargers money line. I like Herbert to go over 274.5 here in the air. I like Eckler over 44.5 here. And I like Mike Williams. Took the alternate receiving yards at 80 plus. DraftKings didn't even have the regular receiving yards up, but the alt was a little bit better stats anyway. And he's only gone under that one time this season. So do like that at +700. I have those both in my card already. So also got a little bit of Saturday baseball action coming at y'all. We got the Red Sox at the Astros and the Dodgers at the Braves. Might be a little bit of a public play in the first game here, but I do like the over 8.5 in the Red Sox Astros. Got the game on the right of me right now. It's in the 9th in game 1, and we got 9 runs scored. So I believe the total was 8 or 8.5 for this game as well. Bats are swinging, and with no McCullers, look for it to be keep swinging. Besides that, the Dodgers and the Braves. I like the Braves money line here. It's some plus 115, Dan. Is that what we said?
Plus 115. That is correct.
Plus 115 there. I just like the value at home. The Braves have just found a way to get it done. I just think they find a way to get it done in game one here. You saw the Dodgers really limp past the Giants. Got a couple of calls go their way. Sorry, Dan. He does love the Giants. That was pain. But the Braves here, I think they could pick up a game one at home. They also have the extra rest. And then it's time to stand up and hit somebody in the mouth. It's hockey time. It might be one of the less popular sports, but that's why it's one of our favorite to bet. You know, the least efficient markets are the ones we can exploit, Dan. You look at the NFL, it's going to be the most efficient market. That's why we talk some of these lesser college football games. That's why we come down here to hockey. I love the game of hockey, but also when we talk wagering hockey, there's good value. So what do I have for you, my friends? We got the 1 p.m. Eastern game here competing with football. I don't know what we're doing, but whatever.
It's fine.
Coyotes and the Sabres. You look at the Coyotes, they lost their last game, I believe 8-1 to a bad Blue Jackets team at the Blue Jackets. They continue their road trip here at the Sabres. Sabres coming off a win. Sabres usually start the season hot, looking good to start. I like the Sabres, the puck line here. I'll take the Sabres minus 1.5. I have a bet in on that, actually.
Next on the docket, we at 6 p.m. Eastern, we've got the Islanders Panthers. This is going to be an interesting matchup. The Islanders coming off of I believe they had a playoff run. Is that am I?
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Good playoff run.
Might be losing it over here. Chat,
can't get past the Lightning.
But I'm sorry. I was in my head. We were flip flopping the Rangers.
Took them to 6 the year before. Took them to 7 this year.
Kill me right now. I do like the Islanders money line here. I think they kept a lot of what they had going on last year. Panthers are a good team at home actually, but I just think there's too much talent on this Islanders team. You saw the way they started playing late in the season here. Last year they really started to gel, keeping a lot of that same team chemistry going this year. I expect it to be more of the same.
I agree. When you look at the hockey lines too, they're a little more lopsided than something like an NFL line. When we are picking the puck line, sometimes they're always 1.5. So you pick the money a lot more. We're looking for that value. We're looking for those dogs with value. Here, they're not home, but anytime I can get the Islanders at positive money, I am in. Give me it. I got to bet in on that one as well.
It's too juicy. It truly, truly is. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off here in the 8 p.m. Eastern time slot? What do we got going here?
Yeah, we got Tyler Seguin matching up with the Stars coming. The Stars coming to face the Bruins. Bruins haven't played one yet this season. Stars have looked good. Had to win it in overtime though. But the boys looked good. Their team's healthy. They got Tyler Seguin out there. Got a couple new additions. I don't know which way to go here on the side, but I do like the over 5.5 goals here. You see the Bruins score a lot, and you saw the Stars get, I believe, 3 in regulation in the last game. I think it ended up 4-3.
Yeah, Stars definitely got a lot of talent on their front 2 forward lines, and so they'll definitely be able to score the puck. Bruins pretty balanced throughout, full of goal scorers all over the roster. I think that's a good play. We'll go ahead and keep it moving here. Blackhawks Penguins. This is I like the Penguins. I think even on the goal line here. I believe I got them at minus 1.5 if I'm not correct.
Yeah, when I did write this up, it was before the Blackhawks game tonight. After seeing the Blackhawks play again, they picked it up in the second and third period against the Avs. I thought maybe they had just started off their season sluggish, but now looking at them play another 3 periods, I agree with you. I originally had the Penguins in the first period, which is only a half a goal, But I agree with you. I like the puck line goal and a half, goal and a half for the game.
Yeah,
Puck
yeah.
and a half.
And I think
Good Lord.
what we saw from Pittsburgh against their opener against Tampa, they did lose a really tough win against Florida. Like I said, Florida, tough team to beat at home. I think we're seeing a lot more from this Pittsburgh team we were expecting to. We're seeing a lot less from the Chicago team we were seeing than we were expecting to. For that reason alone, I think there's
Chicago is
enough
not
of a differential
physical.
there. And exactly,
That's another
they're
thing I
not
didn't think
physical.
about. And the Penguins are physical. They like to hit you. They like to put you up on the boards. And that the Blackhawks can't skate and they're not physical. So it's a bad combination right now. They need somebody to get some legs under them or get somebody that can hit.
Indeed. So we'll go ahead and pass on a couple of games here. We're passing on Ottawa and Toronto, and
I just hate to
the
bet on
Rangers
Toronto. You know me.
and boring ass Montreal.
Oh my God, Rangers and Montreal are both so bad. I don't know what to bet there. I mean, if you're gonna take something, maybe you take.
I'll tell you what
under,
you should take. You should take a nap during that game. That's what you should do.
You should turn on the Kraken game.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go ahead and touch quickly here on Lightnings and Caps. I know you were favoring the Caps. I like the Lightning to bounce back, but why don't you go ahead and expand on your Caps theory here?
You just look at the Caps. They're positive money at home. I think it was like plus 105. You look at the Lightning. They're still takeable at like 110, negative 110 or something like that. So you could definitely pick either side here. There's still value. I just like the value in the Caps at home. We saw Ovechkin come out. He broke the record. Now stands alone at fourth all time, I believe. Most goals scored. So I believe they just come back here and keep it kicking in game 2. The Lightning started off a little slow. You mentioned they got that overtime win. Hedman had to slot one in. A little sketchy. They had to put in 3 goals in 7 minutes just to make it to overtime. They could bounce back, but I just like the Caps at home here with the value.
All right. That'll go ahead and bring us to a real interesting one here. I've got basically no opinion on this one because I don't know much about the home team this one. We have got Seattle at Columbus. Columbus is an interesting team. They've got Line A in there. If Line A can have a good year, I think that elevates that team a good amount. I don't know what to make of it. I truly don't.
I mean, you look at they just beat up on a very bad Coyotes team, 1-8-1, I believe. I think that's could cause some overreactions here, get the public on Columbus. I'm really still on the Kraken here, riding high on the Kraken. They've been playing some good hockey, play some system hockey. They're always trying to get an outlet pass up around to their forward around the goal, playing a little triangle up there, trying to, create some pressure. I just like the way their coach is coaching. I think that Grubauer is going to get more and more in form as he gets that defense to his liking. They're not used to positioning and doing the type of things that Grubauer wants there. So I think as this team starts to gel more, I think the Kraken could be a good pick throughout the season. But I like them here versus Columbus, even with Columbus being strong at home.
Yeah, it's Seattle too. They beat Nashville, but Nashville is such a bad team, so it's kind of hard to put them on a measuring stick just yet to really determine how good of a team they could.
We can't go to Nashville now. Great, Dan. It's supposed to be fun. Now we're not allowed. Great.
They got smacked by Nashville. They smacked Nashville. What do I mean?
Great. You said they were terrible. No, we're not allowed in Nashville.
The city is phenomenal. The Predators themselves they're a mess. But God bless you, Nashville.
Oh man,
God bless you.
Anyway, jumping into Vancouver, Detroit. We saw Detroit sell epically.
That we did.
I mean,
the rebuild maybe not started. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Vancouver's been a quiet team as of late. Really hasn't made much noise in their division. This is one of those games where it doesn't draw much interest for me, and therefore I don't really have much of an opinion on it.
Yeah, look at Detroit, they went ahead and sold the last game in overtime. They did play well throughout the first 3 periods, or first 2 periods and a half, really, of that game. For that reason, and because it's a little bit extra juice, I do like Detroit on the 60-minute money line here. Don't like Vancouver. I like to fade Vancouver. They're just not a good team.
Yeah, I'm with you. Fade Vancouver. That will do it for our 7 and 8 p.m. slot. That'll bring us to our final time slot here. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off with your Blues Avs game?
You skipped one, but that's okay.
Did I?
Carolina, Nashville.
I apologize. Well, we got one more, folks. I was jumping the gun here.
I think you just look at the goalies in those games, and you see that they've both been giving up a lot of goals. I think I go with the over 5.5 here.
That's a good pick. All right, now
the Blues and Avs.
Now the Blues.
Well, I think this is easy. You look at we absolutely own them in the playoffs. Their style, they wanna get physical. They wanna put you up on the boards. They wanna slow you down. It's not gonna work. It's in Colorado. They're gonna have tired legs coming from sea level, and it's tired lungs. And I'm not sure if McKinnon's coming back, but it doesn't matter. Byram was going crazy. O'Connor was going crazy. You look at some of our young prospects starting to step up, and it's just the Avs minus 1.5 seems easy here to me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the St. Louis really hasn't done much after their Stanley Cup run in terms of trying to reload that roster and make another run. They still haven't. They're going to retain guys like Tarasenko and Perron and Bozak and Barbashev and those guys. But those guys are starting to get older. They're starting to get later into their playing career, starting to slow down a little bit. More so those earlier guys I mentioned than the later guys. Some of those guys are a little bit younger, but I think it's starting to get a little bit stale there in St. Louis, and I think there's too much energy going on in Colorado there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we're doing good this year. Nathan McKinnon has the boys charged up, whether he's on the ice or not. He got to talk to him good in the off season. Got that Eric Thomas instilled in him, and I wouldn't want to have to play against him.
Keeping Landeskog was big. Keeping
Landeskog huge. He does all type of dirty work for us. I love it.
Oh yeah. Kip, we'll go ahead and skip a couple of more games, bring it to our final game. We're skipping Calgary and Edmonton as well as Winnipeg and my San Jose Sharks. We'll probably get beat up on. Go ahead and beat the Jets. Or bet the Jets, I'm sorry. Or beat the Jets. It'd be awesome. Sure.
Yeah, it's minus 1.5.
Yeah, it's minus 1.5.
I thought about it, but just haven't seen any of these teams yet. I've seen the Oilers. Haven't seen the other 3. Didn't love the play.
Jets made a playoff run last year, I believe.
They did.
They should beat up on the Sharks. Truly, I mean, we haven't done much. Carlson
they made it to the semis.
Played up to his contract. It's a bad situation in San Jose, folks. But I digress. That's
going to take us to the late game, the last game.
Yes, we got the Minnesota Wild, LA Kings. What do you like here?
I love me some Kings. You look at the other night; they were firing. I mean, Kopitar was just slinging them against Vegas too. You look at they're about to play another playoff team here. I think they come out. They continue to play hard. It's at home again. The Wild just went to overtime with Anaheim. They're still on a road trip in Cali. I like the Kings money line here. It's good value, and they're at home. They were looking good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kings are starting to play better hockey, although the Minnesota Wild are not a bad hockey team in their own right.
They're not.
This is the opposite of what I've been saying earlier in this show, where it's a couple teams that stink, and I can't bet up. These are 2 teams that are pretty damn good. It's hard to find an edge on it here.
That's gonna fucking do it for the first episode of BBB. If you liked, if you bet with us, if you made money, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash all those buttons. I don't even know what I just said. I'm so excited. I hope you make money. Let's go rob Vegas blind.
We'll see y'all next time.